Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. Which it isn't, it's set to normal. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well, screw you, narrator. Screw you. Well then, good luck and have fun. Yeah, thanks a lot.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere.
I'm just gonna reload.
Worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong.
How do I do fever time again?
So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere.
Hang on a minute. How do I do fever time again? How do I do fever time again? Can someone tell me how I do fever time again? I've forgotten. Does it tell me in here? I have generally forgotten how to do fever time. Space key. Okay, I remembered.
Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere.
Oh, okay, I did it without fever time, I guess.
Agree.
This should prove it.
I mean, luckily I had plenty of... There.
If you're asking for proof that the
I
dolly
don't get how
I have
that
it right
works.
here.
I was like,
When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread.
Surely you could have had, like, evidence to show that.
The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room.
Because they're idiots.
And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much?
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Which is?
The subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then... what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
But you're gonna get me to do the evidence.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Oh yeah, you couldn't bend down in that suit. You couldn't bend down in the suit. Because you'd have to bend down to push it. He would have had to have bent down in the suit. I've just got to look out for a statement like that.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah. The culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, that's wrong. Yeah! I got one thing right again.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
Yeah, you wore the
What do you mean?
Well, you wore the suit too.
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm as blind as a bang here. I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist.
This music is too catchy.
Am I right about that?
Music is too catchy. Gotta dance
Now
to
that
it.
you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
Of course not, Jill. Of course
On
not.
top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
That the costume is taken off. Oh yeah, because you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it!
It's got that dodgy
I don't think
clasp
taking
lock
off
on
the
the back.
suit was an option. If you remember,
No, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Yeah. Why would you make something you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid freaking thing. Freaking thing. There's a clasp on the back that keeps you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. We don't really have a choice. Let's help him. It's like a...
That's true.
What's it?
It seems impossible to
Makeup
put the
case
suit on or take
clasp.
it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
You were there, Hina.
Of course I wasn't
You were
making it up.
there. My God.
if
Keep
he
up,
could have
woman.
gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Oh, yeah. Him being carried
You
away.
all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice, that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt. Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by
Sorry guys,
analyzing
just
things
muting my
from
phone.
every
It's becoming
angle.
a pain.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
Okay.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened.
Story time.
I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same
J and the R
Robo-Justice had
on the
abducted
opposite shoulders
Hifumi.
when Hero was wearing
We were
it,
soon
or am I
joined
just
in our
getting
search
confused?
by Byakuya and Toko,
How?
and then went on to find Hifumi in the library.
How?
He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. Diddle-diddle-diddle.
and then...
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi! Hifumi's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back. He was finished off.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
I'm sorry, this is a terrible thing they did. This can't be happening. Are we all hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository. Which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
Celeste discovered them, but Hina
I think
and
that about covers
Sakura went in there first.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
Ooh.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them.
Ooh. Okay.
Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death,
Okay.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
So
Or
we have to
perhaps
click
was
it on what
after?
Hina says then.
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What order?
What makes you say that?
Okay.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Is it this one? No, it's not. Okay. So it is the first one then. Don't scare me like that.
Shoot!
So it must be the other one then. Okay.
So, regarding Taka's...
I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were. Taka came last.
Ah, missed it.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was
Killed with just while Taka's death.
Well, Taka's death.
So it's obvious Taka
So
came.
it's obvious.
So, regarding I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Oh, I did it
What
again.
makes you say?
Because of the number.
It's true that he flew
In a memento. In a memento.
So it's obvious Taka came after.
They weren't used in that order. I just
So,
missed it twice.
Regarding Taka, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in.
No? What? Oh, for goodness sakes. What am I getting wrong here? I mean, I've forgotten what the file said anyway. but-
Regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer
That's
3,
the
while
only other
Taka's
one.
death
Came from a swing.
See? So it's obvious
That's the
Taka
only
came
other.
after.
That's the only other one. There's only two in this one, isn't there?
So, regarding I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's what? There's only two options though. I'm confused. Can I have some help, please? I don't.
Shoot!
So, regarding Taka's death,
I don't get
I
it.
wonder if he
Why?
died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
I've already tried both.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
It's not the normal truth bullet. Does that... It's not the normal truth bullet. Is my game book then? It's not the normal truth bullet. Not the normal truth bullet. Am I overcomplicating this in my brain right now? Is it? Am I looking for a purple comment then, or I'm just really confused right now.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with
Oh,
Justice
okay,
Hammer 3.
it's been
while
so
Taka's
long.
death
It's been
came
so
from a
long.
swing
It's
of
been
Justice
so
Hammer 4.
long.
See? So it's
It has been
obvious Taka
so
came
long.
after.
Thank you. I totally forgot you could do that.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
There we go.
Wrong.
Whew. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Double thumbs up. Double thumbs up.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
That took way too long.
If
Let's get back to
anything,
auto.
That's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi? Do we even have that? Oh, his watch. His watch, yeah. He died at like 6, didn't he? Watch. It was his watch. Is it going to say watch? Wristwatch, okay. Oh, we got to get him in order. Right, okay. C? Anyone? H. Didn't realize you had to get him in order. I thought you could just attack all the letters you needed.
I got it! Taka's wristwatch! See? Look! It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night,
Yeah, it was already 10. Yeah, because it was literally just before they were supposed to, like, curfew-wise for bed. Super Saiyan Taka will never be again.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
So was he the main, like,
That simple
victim?
fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
Ooh.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Yep. Huh? What was that? I'm not going to keep saying the lines because how many times have I said it now? 3, maybe 4. I don't know. But our alibis are clear for Hifumi's but everyone's suspect
When we
for
heard
Tako.
Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
Such tiny legs. I'm gonna notice the character
That's totally
design.
true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
What?
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office
Well,
because of
apart from
Hifumi
Toko.
going missing.
Apart from Toko.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Ooh, tell
What?
me.
How?
Do tell.
If the dead body were to move itself.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't dead, was he?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is... we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Yeah, because we saw him. Plot twist, yeah. Plot twist.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement.
Hifumi's a
along
part of
with
the
rest us.
Illuminati. Oh yeah, he is.
Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh. No, because that would have been at 6.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
Maybe we need this one.
And
I
you
don't
know
know.
that
We're
how?
about to find out if we need this one.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended
To signal someone else's discovery.
No. For God's sakes. I don't know what to put now because I'm getting really, really close to death here. Little help, please. I don't want to die.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible.
Have I got to
Hifumi
have I
was
got to
dead,
use the
without a
wristwatch?
doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Yeah, but they didn't find him until later. At almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
I don't know, and I don't want to get it wrong, because if I do, I've got to start it from the beginning again, and I don't want to do that. Oh no, it's not that I won't do that. Well, I can't remember what happens when you fail.
When we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No,
Whoops.
it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely
Someone
you heard
else's
the body
discovery is
discovery
right.
announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's
Okay.
dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we
What, with the
really
wristwatch?
so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh, I didn't pick it up. Is it for the wristwatch, or is that the one I need? Is that the one I need? I'm assuming that's the one I need. And then dead body had been found. Someone else's discovery is right. Okay.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body
I need
discovery
that, okay.
announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh yeah, because they were made at the same time. Okay. Okay, I get what you're saying now. So they were both found at the same time. So dead body had been found, but it wasn't. It was Taka being found. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm there now.
When we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body
Had been found.
No, that's wrong.
Thank you! I love these games, but
Was the body
It just-
discovery announcement that was made really intended for
it
Hifumi?
takes me so long to process the information. Don't ask me why. My brain is kind of like, it just gets fried with the time going off, the fact that it keeps going across the screen. It might not be kind of like in front of you. Like, I love the Professor Layton games. And I loved Phoenix Wright and things like that, but some of the puzzles used to fry my brain cells, and like riddles and trials and all sorts of stuff. So it took me a long time to actually like process them. So maybe I'm not cut out for these games, but I still love them anyway.
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
How many people? How many people?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. And the second time was when... just after Afumi came back to life? Yeah, it was then, wasn't it? When both bodies were rediscovered? No, it could be this one. No. Oh god, it wasn't technically. I think.
Shoot!
Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I'm a failure. I can't play these games. No. One with the why is it always me? Too bad. It's always me.
Is this really the end for all of us?
No. What do you say? Want to give another shot? Hell freaking yeah,
I
dude.
refuse to give up yet.
Give me my health back. Let's try again from the top.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right.
Maybe.
Let's skip
That's
back to
right.
where we were.
It wasn't.
So there's a good. I think we've confused what.
First of all, if.
Maybe Monokuma.
What do you say, Monaco?
Well, it's a very. But what I can say, it's only.
That didn't answer our question.
No, actually. He said it's only broadcast. Even if we find the same body, if that's true, then why?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard.
When both bodies were rediscovered.
Gun! We heard it a second time in the repository when we rediscovered the two bodies.
Go back to auto now. Sorry for being a dumb bum. I'm always a dumb bum. Yeah, it just went off again, so. But there was only 2 people.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom! That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Okay. I'm gonna say Hifumi's glasses were...
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Oh yeah, there was.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, that was an easy peasy one. I can get the easy peasy ones.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
He had to clean his glasses to
His
see where he was
glasses.
going.
That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
Dance time.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood.
They were indeed.
But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses
Maybe
clean.
he was in cahoots with the person that did
And the
it.
mascot on the cloth
saying.
is the same one that's on the digital camera, right?
I don't know, maybe not.
And whose
knows?
digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Lol.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
Hell yeah.
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
I wonder that.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's was... Hifumi?
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
Wow. Wow.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Hell yeah. The note. Where's the note?
I got it!
The note he took on
You're
Taka.
talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hero got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hero. And that person could only have been...
Taka!
I got it!
Me! It was me!
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
TikTok.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
It's still scary, but still. Oh, we have proof. I can't let her get to me. Diddle-diddle-diddle.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Oh yeah, it does.
No, that's wrong.
Because it stopped working at 6:05. Boom. I'm getting it.
No,
I'm getting it
there
now.
absolutely is a connection.
Hell yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Maybe Hifumi gave it.
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I gotta tell you about the tiny little corner piece I found in his hand, really.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then,
Whoever
killed
didn't want him to start blah blah
Whoever
blah blah blah
did
blah
is
blah
the
blah blah.
mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
Don't want to leave behind
So,
witnesses.
he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's
Celeste
missing
was the only
body.
person that came to say she'd found them all.
In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus! Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
Oh, the
So
wet
if
hammer
Hifumi
on
was
the
killed in the
wall. They
repository,
cleaned it.
The culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Lol.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
You don't get it, guys. They were in a room with other
Personally,
hammers in it.
I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Come on, let me choose my evidence. I know this one.
Is it
Teacher!
not possible they used a different weapon?
Teacher!
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
Teacher, let me answer this question.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
But we know it. We know it. Somehow I have to find the truth. Don't get dramatic on me. We know what it is. It's the friggin' mallet that was wet on the wall.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out.
It might be that
How
first
was
one.
the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Could be that one.
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
No, it's that one.
No, that's wrong.
It's that one.
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, Of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers.
And there's
Big
blood on
ones,
the floor again.
small ones,
Some
and
as big
even
as your
some
head.
flat mallet-like ones.
Big
I
ones,
think whoever
small
made the
ones,
Justice
some as big
Hammers
as your head.
used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
How there wouldn't be a reason to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... yeah, this bit I feel like I might get stuck on. Spot this hammer again?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
I feel like the impossible two murders impossible. I don't.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder,
I don't know.
only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
I don't know. Hang on a minute. Can we really say there's no chance two people would work together on this? So it's not impossible, it's numerous. Whoops.
Even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true. It is,
That is.
But that only really applies if there's one. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for
Guessing
us,
it's this
even
one?
if more than one, only the one who actually,
assuming the rule holds true,
Yep.
No, that's wrong.
Two murders. He murdered
Since there
Hifumi
were
and
two
someone.
murders,
Yeah.
it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Oh no. Okay. No, I'm thinking outside
What do
the
you
box
mean?
here.
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering.
But if they wanted to get him to help and then kill him
Naturally,
afterwards,
if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
I think
the
I'm
payoff
figuring.
for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for
Yep.
the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
If Hifumi wanted someone to help him take down Taka, but the person that was helping Hifumi wanted Hifumi down, win-win situation, I guess. Right?
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders.
But 2 people.
Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
This is a long
The
episode, I
mastermind
apologize.
picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
I just noticed that fact from the very beginning. Yeah, but it's entirely separate events. Sorry, I should be reading the blue ones. Kyoko really is amazing. Although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
And in the end, murdered him. Yeah, the true killer manipulated Hifumi and carried out a number of actions. In the debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's only one person who really seems to fit. There is? There is? I want to say Celeste. It's probably wrong, but I want to say Celeste.
Here's my answer.
I'm right.
It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit-for-brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
The screaming? Because, oh, encountering the suspicious individual? Because they did both of those. They both did this. I'm going to go screaming. No, it's not that one then. Okay.
Shoot!
It's fine. I know it's the other one then.
I got it!
Encountering the suspicious individual.
The behavior they had
They
in
both did
common
scream
has
a
to
lot,
do with
though.
the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
Oh,
The
yeah, it
only
does.
ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual.
Bitch!
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Oh, she'd seen a suspicious individual. Moving around at the top of the stairs. Yeah, I remember.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Yeah, what's wrong? That was rather an intense scream for someone like you. Yeah. The strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Yeah, he did it as well then. That came from downstairs.
It was to get us to divide into
Into
two groups.
groups.
So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Ooh. Ooh. It's all coming together.
Well, if
Wonder how
Celeste and
Monokuma's gonna
Hifumi
kill
were working
Celeste.
together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Some kind of gambling thing. Maybe Russian
And on
roulette.
top of that,
Russian
that
roulette.
piercing cry of yours
Oh,
early
yeah.
on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor. Everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
I'm expected to know this,
What
aren't I?
are
But I
you
don't know what it
talking
is.
about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
What did she say? They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Sorry.
Although I don't really get what it means.
He's just explaining.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said?
Guys. Plural.
If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Thank you for, like, interrogating her, Byakuya. I said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. Yeah. But what is he alluding to? The fact that it was multiple murders. 2 people.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Just like those guys died.
Nope, it's not that one then.
Shoot!
Shoot! Let's try again.
All I said was,
They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
and that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Nope. Sorry, Byakuya. Don't expect me to do rule work for you. Figure out yourself why her comment doesn't make sense.
Shoot.
All I said was,
I don't
They
know.
must
I'm
really
a
be enjoying
dum-dum.
the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
When she said that, she should only have known about Hifumi's death. With that in mind, what's so strange about what she said? The fact that
all I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
Nope.
They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here.
No. I don't know, I'm just running out of steam now.
Shoot!
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this.
Enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this.
So strange,
It's obvious,
those
isn't
guys,
it?
that's
What was
it.
so strange about Celeste's comment?
So strange, those guys. That's it. Figured it out. I'm a dum-dum. Let's go.
All I said. They must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to
Die.
There we go. So
No,
strange.
it's wrong.
Took me long enough.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
I'm running out of steam, sorry.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
Hell yeah.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
That's true. She hasn't brought it up again.
How do you explain this picture
See, that
of
says
the costumed villain
RJ, not
dragging Hifumi
JR.
away?
I'm just...
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Well, you would say that. Other explanations. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
Yay!
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
You can say he's like, oh my god, it's so
We've
heavy.
simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Wow. Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? What we got to
You
do
dressed
with?
me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
If I remember right, Hina said that she couldn't she said that she couldn't bend at the waist. So it's to
Dressed
do
me
with
up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture,
I'm ready,
the
yeah.
suspect is standing
I'm ready.
perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up.
No, that's wrong. Break.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Oh, you need
Because
auto
that
again.
Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Ooh, battle time.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Wow.
Celeste? Clearly! You want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right, I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
Shut up, hero.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Guilty.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used
Celeste
to
is
talk
the
to
leader of the
us. How did
Illuminati.
he refer to each of us?
He said people's last names?
I got it!
I wasn't even paying
That's
attention to
right.
that conversation.
Our
I was too
last
busy talking
names.
about the Illuminati.
He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well? Do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in.
What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. Make your argument. We're still going. E-handbook.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
It's upside down.
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
No, it's wrong.
Bye. Shows you e-handbook, girl. Prove it.
That's it. The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook, so it has many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check our handbook,
and that'll clear up everything.
That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Begin. Right, let's see. Okay, let's go to the scenes we do know. Did he get hit with Justice Hammer 3 or 4? Was it 3? Did Taka get hit with 3 or 4? Was it 4? That was 4 then, because it says in that photo that it was 4. Oh, that says 7, not 6. That's not the right time. Oh no, that is the right time. It's just at a weird angle. Justice Hammer 3. It's gotta be that, I guess. Let's give it a try.
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Oh no, that's not right then. Nope. I need to change that then. Okay. That needs to be... Where's Hifumi? So what goes here then? Oh, then he got bonked on the head with Justice Hammer 2, right? Let's try that then.
Here's exactly what happened.
I think this is right then.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder.
Hopefully this is right now.
And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Oh yeah, he's got to knock him out with something, hasn't he? Whoops. That one?
Here's exactly what happened.
Just skip to this bit. Nope. Okay. Damn it. Why is this poster here? What am I doing wrong? Someone help me! Mate, where does that one go there? What will go in that one then? I'm confused. I don't know what to do. That way? Oh, I don't know. I'm running out of options.
The killer is... you!
Nope. God damn it. Oh, one! Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Here's exactly what
It's gotta
happened.
be this way then. Yeah, 1 o'clock.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds. That the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Dramatic.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Keiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
That's it? Oh, we did have it at the start though, didn't we? True. B, A, 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 B. I'm happy with A. I'm happy. Nice. I gotta be quiet now. People are going bad. It is like
Okay,
11:45.
Monokuma. I'm ready to begin.
Wow,
Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
she sounds so weird. Sounds so weird.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I have no sympathy for Celeste at all. Not one bit. Forcing someone to do the dirty work and then killing them at the end. Just no. No. She deserves what she gets. The only one that does so far, I think. It's basically a formality at this point. But once again, you're totally correct. The blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Ta-da! Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly,
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Mifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Ifumi with this plan. How did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would happily agree to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her speciality, lying. My speciality? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then,
Then did you use, you know... I knew you'd figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Ifumi to act as my accomplice...
indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but... it was the one thing Ifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego? She is.
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one that stole it?
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Ifumi into the plan you come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it had disappeared, I paid Ifumi a little visit. Oh, and what are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It's about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
So
And
then,
I have proof. Would you like to see? As it turns out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? She's supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
as for me,
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
He did?
As for me,
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. Wow. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. He knew he'd gone a little crazy, but
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I'll never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
most unfortunate.
Wait, please. If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands.
Hmm?
Huh?
Actually,
Takura is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Takura is going to try and kill you.
indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard.
This is unforgivable! Completely unforgivable!
Honestly,
Can we allow him to do these barbaric acts? Or continue?
Absolutely not. How could I? She...
I swear I will save her!
actually,
Then, would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete.
What are you talking about?
Oh, nothing. Ifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Ifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpasses even at my every expectation. Life must be tough on your parents, though. Ouch. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you're explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming that you actually let him live?
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up. I told him he'd say he'd been seriously wounded and was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was... While you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
So you had planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can a human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been an escape.
But...
All along, you've been saying how we have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously, that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me...
And it was all for that dream. And what's this dream of yours?
Isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butler/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life, there was only my dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but...
There is nothing to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why wouldn't I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh.
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That is all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just for other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then...
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey!
You'd just get executed again. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
You're all done. Okay, let's get rolling. The blackened disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Woo! Quiet woo!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What?
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Bye, Celeste. Game over. Russian roulette? Russian roulette? Russian roulette? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. burned at the stake. The burning of the Versailles witch. Oh my god. Okay. No, this is awful. Not what I had in mind, but this is awful. Oh my god. What? What? Oh my god. Just run into her as well. Good job, Monokuma. You put the fire out. Oh my god. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and...
Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this?
Oh, that's me, not Monokuma. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give me a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
Wah?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question, if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh!
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh! How exciting!
Oh man, oh geez, oh man, oh geez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's time I get out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys go on and enjoy your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although, it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma mentioned it already, but... what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easy to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. Itchy nose. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm gonna go in alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
So...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she quickly glanced at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
But that's not what I meant by why you. That's not what I meant why you. There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
Well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go dining hall, okay?
So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone.
I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Yeah,
So then,
we need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You really came.
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time.
So,
Oh, and I think I might have been able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow? I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So, now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second since we have this opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school?
you...
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
what?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When did you do that?
Indeed.
It's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too? No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's what I want you to tell. That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's fine.
fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... Ooh... What I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I'd told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action. Ooh. And on that dramatic note... Oh, we're gonna leave it there, because I have been streaming for 3.5 hours, and it is really late, and I don't want to cause more disturbance than I probably already will be at 10 past 11 at night, so... Thank you so much for joining me for this super long mission. I kind of had my suspicions about Celeste when she was the one that came back and says, I found the bodies in the repository. So it just took me a while to piece the things together to kind of prove it was her, but it just seemed a bit off, that did. That bit just seemed off, so... But yeah, nice to know that I was a bit further ahead with my suspicions than I was the last couple of times. So, I'm gonna go right now, and I will catch up with you guys for my next stream, which will be Saturday. So everyone, take care. Y'all take care now. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.